Why will you step on me, old man?
Ah! I didn't mean to, Since you don't respect elders, you will beg men to sleep with you.
What's happening to me?
Zara, what is this? Stop! Zara, what did happen to you?
I don't know.
How it
Something
all
just take me.
started.
Now wahala
But
be this,
before
oh.
we go
Please,
into
I
the
beg
main
you, just
story,
help me small.
please like,
you how?
hit the
don't
subscribe
even
button.
know.
It encourages me, and drop a comment on where you're watching us from. We'd like to know where my besties are watching from. Now, back to the story. Lagos never sleeps. The traffic roared, buses shouted for passengers, and street hawkers filled the air with noise. Adaeze Okonkwo was used to attention. At 26, she was the definition of a Lagos baddie. Tall, curvy, dark glowing skin, confident walk. Whenever she stepped out of a bus, men turned their heads. But Adaeze had one problem. She was proud and rude. "Shift, abeg," she snapped as she pushed past people at the bus stop. One hot afternoon at Oshodi bus stop, Adaeze was stepping down from a crowded Danfo bus. Suddenly, step! Someone stepped on her expensive heel. Ouch! She spun around angrily. Behind her stood a thin old man holding a walking stick. His clothes were dusty and his face looked tired. Before he could speak, slap! The sound echoed loudly. Everyone turned. "Are you blind? You just step on people like that?" Adaeze shouted. The old man looked at her quietly. Then his eyes became strangely calm. My daughter, since you like to disgrace people," he pointed his shaking finger at her. "From today, you will beg men for the thing you think you control." Adaeze laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha, old man, abeg, go rest." But the man continued. "You will beg them, young or old, rich or poor, stranger or neighbor." His voice grew colder. "And you will never be satisfied." The crowd went silent. Adaeze rolled her eyes. "Na film you dey act." She waved her hand and walked
You go
away
manage am.
confidently. Crazy old man. The next morning, Adaeze woke up sweating. Something felt strange. Her heart was racing. Her body felt restless.
Why I dey
"Why
feel
I dey
like
feel
this?
like this?" she muttered. She drank water. Still, the feeling remained. By the time she reached the office in Victoria Island, it became worse. She couldn't concentrate. Her mind kept drifting. Her breathing became heavier. Then she saw Chike, the office cleaner, mopping the floor. Suddenly, something inside her snapped.
It's overwhelming
She
me.
walked toward him slowly. "Chike," she whispered.
Chike.
He looked confused. "Madam?" Adaeze leaned closer.
Follow me
"Follow
small.
me small,
Abeg.
abeg." Inside the office restroom, the door closed quickly. A few minutes later, they both came out looking shocked. Chike whispered to himself, "Wetin just happened?" But Adaeze's body still burned with this strange feeling. "Why this thing no dey stop?" she muttered. The curse spread. That week, things got worse, much worse. One afternoon, her manager called her into his office. "Sit down, Adaeze." But before he could finish his sentence, Adaeze locked the door. Her manager blinked. "Adaeze, what are you doing?" She grabbed his hand desperately. "Please, I beg you, just help me small." "Help you how?" "I don't even know." The manager stared at her in shock.
Ow, this itch is awful.
Come on, let's get you inside.
Okay, but you have to help me.
Soon, the whole compound began to talk. Neighbors started whispering. Did you hear about that fine girl in flat 3? They say she's behaving somehow. One evening, Adaeze ran into her neighbor, an old mechanic named Musa. Before she could control herself, Ade, I beg. He jumped back. Madam, wetin dey worry you? She covered her face in shame. I don't know. Tears rolled down her cheeks. The cause had taken over her life. Young, old, stranger, neighbor, it didn't matter. The burning feeling always returned, and every time she hated herself more. Weeks later, Adaeze looked completely different. Her eyes were tired, her confidence was gone. She searched everywhere for the old man. Bus stops, markets, street corners. Oga, please, have you seen one old man with stick? Nobody knew. Finally, one evening at Ojota Park, she saw him. The same old man, sitting quietly under a tree. Adaeze ran toward him and fell on her knees. Tears poured down her face. Please, sir, forgive me. The old man looked at her calmly. You remember me now? I am sorry, I was rude. Please remove the curse. People around watched in confusion. The old man stood slowly. Have you learnt respect? Yes, sir, I swear. Have you learnt that beauty is not power? Adaeze nodded desperately. Yes. The old man sighed. Very well. He raised his walking stick. The course will end tonight. Adaeze collapsed in relief. Thank you, sir. But the old man added quietly. However, she looked up. There is one last thing. What? The old man smiled strangely. Tonight, the desire will be stronger than ever. Adaeze froze, and if you survive it without giving in, the curse will break. Her heart started pounding. But if you fail, he turned away slowly. You will remain like this forever. That night, Adaeze locked herself inside her apartment. Her hands shook. Her body began heating again. The feeling returned, stronger, much stronger. Outside, the city noise faded. Footsteps passed her door. Voices echoed in the hallway. Her breathing grew faster. God, please help me. Then suddenly, knock. Her neighbor's voice came through the door. Adaeze, you there house? The curse burned inside her like fire. Her hand slowly reached the door handle. Her whole body trembled. Sweat rolled down her face. Would she open the door or survive the night? Morning came. The sun rose over Lagos. The door opened slowly. Adaeze stepped outside, calm, quiet, free. The curse was gone. She had survived. But across the street, a young, arrogant man stepped down from a Danfo bus. He accidentally stepped on an old man's foot. The man turned angrily. Without waiting, but noticed it an old man and tell him sorry and went his way. Adaeze learnt the hard way. Ever since, she fear and respect elder. Thank you for watching. Moral lesson: respect everyone, especially elders. One moment of pride can bring serious consequences. Pride can destroy you. Adaeze's rude behavior is what started everything. Actions have consequences.